There's a moment in episode 7 of Paradise that almost everyone missed. And it changes everything about Sinatra. A woman who cannot say her dead son's name without falling apart stands in a corridor and asks a stranger his birthday. He answers, May 16th. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't react. She just walks away. That moment is not a throwaway detail. That moment is the key to everything this season has been building toward, and it arrived so quietly that the show almost dared you to miss it. Going into this episode, the situation inside and outside the bunker had already reached a breaking point. Xavier had finally found Terry, and the reunion landed harder than anyone expected. She had not been held against her will. She had been traveling with the outsider convoy the entire time, making her way toward Colorado. Gary's elaborate plan to trap Xavier had fallen apart completely. And now Xavier, Terry, and Annie's newborn baby were all moving back toward the train together, toward the children waiting for them, toward the collision that the finale is clearly being structured around. Inside the bunker, Robinson and Jeremy Bradford had located the oxygen systems and begun disabling the tanks. Their plan was methodical and precise. Trigger a controlled loss of atmospheric pressure, and the bunker's own safety protocols would be forced to open every door automatically. It was not a violent assault. It was a technical argument made through infrastructure. What they could not have anticipated was that at the same moment they executed their plan, Sinatra's leadership team, panicking because she had gone completely dark and unreachable, voted to initiate a full lockdown. The bunker's system received two contradictory commands at the same time. Open all doors. Seal everything shut. The engineer who built this place, Anders, had never designed a resolution for that conflict, because he had never believed both crises could arrive simultaneously. He was wrong. The episode made a deliberate structural choice to revisit Cal Bradford through a series of flashbacks set before the apocalypse, and those scenes turned out to be more than backstory. During a tour of the facility, Cal kept asking the same uncomfortable question in different forms. What happens when two catastrophic failures coincide? Anders dismissed him. The odds were described as infinitesimal. Sinatra said nothing. What the episode was doing in those flashbacks was not simply providing exposition. It was using a dead man's specific, unheeded anxiety as the thematic engine for everything that unfolds in the episode's final act. Cal Bradford never lived to see the bunker in operation. He was killed between seasons. But his worry arrived on schedule in episode 7, and nobody was prepared for it. The bunker that Anders built to survive a direct nuclear strike was not broken by an outside army. It was broken by its own people walking through the kitchen. Now the birthday. Earlier in the episode, Sinatra and her husband Tim are getting dressed together before the meeting with the man known as Link. They talk about their son, Dylan. Tim mentions that Dylan would have been 26 this year. Sinatra says she cannot say his name without coming apart. She tells Tim she does not know how he managed to heal from it. That conversation is placed directly before the negotiation scene, and the show does that on purpose. Because at the end of that negotiation, one of Link's crew breaks protocol and uses his real name. Not Link, Dylan. Sinatra hears it. Then she asks him his birthday. He tells her, May 16th. And she walks away composed. The composure is the detail that matters. The episode had already established, minutes earlier, that Sinatra cannot hold herself together when her son's name comes up in a private conversation with her own husband. But she hears the name Dylan attached to a stranger in a tense corridor exchange, and she keeps herself completely controlled. That gap is not an acting choice or an inconsistency. That gap is information. Someone who is hearing a name that shatters them for the first time does not suddenly gain that kind of composure. Someone who has already had time to process, to prepare, to know what she is walking into handles it exactly the way Sinatra handled it. She already knew. The password deepens it further. Sinatra uses May 16th, Dylan's birthday, as the password for every piece of sensitive technology she owns. That detail did not appear in this episode by accident. The show was telling the audience that she built the most important date of her grief directly into the infrastructure of her own security. and then it told the audience that Link shares that date. The question going into the finale is not whether Link is Dylan. The question is how long Sinatra has known, and what she has been doing with that knowledge all season. This connects directly to the larger theory the show has been developing through its quantum entanglement references. Alex, the thing in the deepest room of the bunker that Sinatra has killed to protect, and that Gabriella has been hunting all season, may not be a time machine in any conventional sense. The more the season has developed, the more the evidence points towards something specific. A technology capable of identifying branching decision points, moments where one outcome was chosen when another was possible, and collapsing the alternatives to force a different result. It does not travel through time. It corrects the record at the moment where the record diverged. If that is what Alex does, then Sinatra's motivation comes into focus with uncomfortable clarity. She does not want to go back and relive the past. She wants to find the exact moment where Dylan's survival was still possible and force that outcome into being. And Link's hostility toward the bunker and everything inside it also comes into focus. He is not trying to stop time travel. He is trying to stop a machine that can lock the future into whatever shape Sinatra decides it should take. A machine like that does not just bring one person back. It hands permanent control of every subsequent choice to whoever operates it. The finale is now set up around a convergence of pressures arriving from every direction at once. Xavier and Terry are returning to Colorado with a newborn. Link's 10,000-strong convoy is moving on a bunker already in system failure. Anders is standing in a room with no protocol for what just happened to his life's work. Sinatra has descended alone in a private elevator to the deepest part of the mountain to visit Alex. And Gabriella, who has spent the entire season quietly piecing together what Alex actually is, has just stabbed Jane in a shower and left her bleeding on the floor. Jane was Sinatra's enforcer. Jane was the mechanism by which threats inside the bunker got managed. With Jane gone, with the system down, with Link at the gate and Sinatra unreachable, the finale does not need to manufacture tension. The tension has been built with precision across 7 episodes, and it all converges in the same place at the same time. The writing in this episode did something genuinely difficult. Well, it let Sinatra exist as 2 things simultaneously. A ruthless operator who has made choices that cannot be defended, and a mother operating from a grief so total that she built it into her passwords. The show did not ask the audience to pick one. It held both. And the finale will have to decide whether those 2 versions of her can survive the same ending. When Sinatra heard the name Dylan in that corridor and asked for the birthday, what did you see? A woman discovering in real time that her son might still be alive? Or a woman confirming something she has known for far longer than she has let on? Those 2 answers lead to completely different versions of who Sinatra is, and the finale is 1 week away. Drop your read in the comments below. If you want to be here the moment the finale breakdown drops, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you do not miss it.